It all fits the way
And
it's supposed to.
we are live. Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pop Pop, weekly show where we talk about Paragon, the Overprime, and we got a lot to talk about this week. We got the Winterfest event. We got a thank you video for them. We got them making changes to their privacy policy. We got all kinds of stuff. Competitive people been playing competitive this week. The effects that has had on the game. And we just got a lot that we're going to get into. And we're also going to be showing off clips from you guys, the viewers, on the show. And then not only that, but we're going to let you guys vote on them to see who gets top dog. And then yeah, we'll get more into that when it happens. But I'm the Man Goose. Joining me and also streaming on Twitch, I'll link it in the comments, is TheEgoist. How you doing?
Yo, dude, what is up? Super happy to be here. As normal, guys, happy to have the conversation. Happy to be one of those competitive people that you were just talking about, sweating, crying, bleeding in these ranked competitive lobbies. And, you know, excited for all the content we have to talk about this week that the team has released. So I'm happy to get into it.
Right on. Stunt, how you doing, man?
Good. Always great to be here. Me also, that competitive side of Paragon is extremely fun. Having to deal with everybody from crybabies to everything else.
Yeah. Fun's the word.
Where's Rampage? I don't know where Rampage is. Airstyle RD, hi from Dominican Republic. Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bearded Wolverine, how you doing, man? NureOnna is here, kind of, but she is been having some technical difficulties. Hopefully, she'll pop in sooner or later and start chatting with us. But let's get into it. Let's get into it tonight. Starting off with let's first talk about this Christmas event. So the Christmas event, people have been complaining a lot about the price of the heroes and everything. The Christmas event, they just straight up gave us 11 heroes, like out the gate, bam, here's 11 heroes. Not only do we have 11 heroes, we have updates to the map that make it a little more wintry themed, complete with different ambient sounds in the jungle. We had the three of the holiday skins from Paragon coming back into Paragon the Overprime, and then they had two original skins, which are both fan-fucking-tastic. The Rampage and the Shibby skin are just both absolutely mind-blowing. So, the Ego, what do you think about the winter event? What's your favorite part of this winter event?
Oh, dude, that Shinbi skin turned me into a Shinbi player. For
yes, sir.
For like 2 full days, that skin turned me into a Shinbi, made me a believer. But no, in all realness, with the things that they've released, kind of with the winter event and the patch that came with it, I want to touch on more than anything else the 11 heroes they released. Because there's some things that they've done, like with decreasing the prices of everything, where it was like, okay, well, maybe they had planned to do that initially. And when they didn't initially and got that blowback, they just changed it to something they knew would be safer because they got caught being greedy. This release of the free 11 heroes feels like such just we love this community and we want to show you guys how much we love you guys by literally just giving us free things that you would normally have to grind for. And if you own those heroes, dude, they refunded you. Yeah. So you can just go throw that onto someone else. It's insane. Well, what are your thoughts so far on that Stunt?
I love the Rampage skin. The creativity behind it. I know that a lot of the community members were saying if we get the Beachbody Twin Blast, that we want the squirt guns and all of that. It shows that Paragon pays attention, Overprime pays attention to all of this. For Rampage to pick up a snowball from that snowy map and launch it at you, it's amazing. And then Shimby, obviously, seeing a reindeer chasing your ass down the lane. That's
so
crazy.
good.
And not only that, he's got carrot spikes on his shoulders. Like the attention to detail in that skin is amazing. Absolutely amazing. When he swipes, it leaves like the
little snow glitter stuff.
Yeah, little snowflakes.
Yeah, man. No, the skins are impeccable, and it's like it feels like we're now being able to like see, because before the game released in the early access, right, we all have had access to the like things we're working on tap. So we got to see some concept art. We got to see like their ideas from what they were doing with stuff, but seeing it in execution now like brings a bit of a tear to my eye because the skins are so beautiful, so smooth, and I feel like over the course of just now the couple weeks that the game's been out, it's just improved by such a large margin. And this Christmas event or holiday event really kind of encapsulates it. Complete map overhaul visually that looks gorgeous. I love it. The new skins, the heroes you're getting for free, dude. Man, Goose, I'm a big fan. Goose, I'm a real big fan.
Bearded Wolverine in the chat brings up, it still feels to me like they're trying to correct the issues they created with how they launched. I think it's somewhat like that. I think what happened is, I don't think they realized how much people were going to spend on skins. Once they realized that they have a moneymaker on their hands that's going to be a sustainable game, they were like, all right, let's give away all these heroes. Then people will start buying skins for these heroes, which I have zero problem with that. If you want to, people want to spend money on these skins, fine, but this just helps the free to play players out quite a bit. Yeah, that should be just fucking amazing. But
impeccable, man.
Yeah, I think they just also wanted to kind of get people into competitive and give them the heroes so that they could start having competitive matches, because nobody was playing competitive until after this winter event, and now everybody is playing competitive, which might be kind of its own problem, but we'll get into that later. Let's keep talking about the winter event. What do you guys think of the map?
I do like the idea that they added sound effects to the snow when you run through it. It's that little detail. Had they not put it in, I mean, I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. But the fact that they're adding these small details, as far as Rampage goes, when I was mentioning he throws a snowball, do you get like a snowball hit of sound effect? Sometimes I put my game lower so I can hear my teammates in Discord, but it's just the detail that comes with it. And like Bearded was saying, if it does feel like that too, that they're trying to correct stuff, I personally don't have a problem, because this is their baby. This is their first game for Soul Eve, right? Just like any other game. And obviously they're going to correct a lot of mistakes and a lot of attempts back and forth. However, I was not expecting a snow map this early. I figured they would start doing holiday stuff next year. That was a complete surprise to me when they announced it and they had the trailer out just 1 week into playing the game. Not even a week, it was a few days.
Yeah,
it came out that Thursday, right? So, and they released the snow event on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been really awesome. It's been huge. Going back and kind of touching on what Bearded said in chat, one thing I partially agree with you. I feel like, the game is in early access, but that's not necessarily an excuse to have X amount of mistakes, but like a kind of comparison I would like to make across, not assuming what everyone in the chat is playing, but a game I know is generally popular. It's like Apex Legends. One of the characters' abilities was broken for an entire season to where it just sometimes wouldn't work for 3 months. And they didn't patch it till the mid-season of the next season after that. So that's about 5 months where that was broken. I can admit that there was a couple things I disagreed with and problems in the game as it came out, but kind of the speed at which they've been fixing it is huge. And I also feel like you said, Stunt, the attention to detail is. I have avoided ganks because I hear Grux's heavy ass running through the jungle at me. Like volume up, you just hear grunt, 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 grunt. And I have started preemptively retreating, maybe threw down a gadget speed bomb. I get in, portaled out earlier so I wouldn't get kind of hit with that pull initially and take that bit of damage. But man, just overall, it's just been such a good time, and the effects on the snow map, the you said stuff when the thing does hit you, it is like a snowball sound. I don't know how to do the audio effect for it with my mouth. I'm not gonna try to.
And his ground and pound does jingle bells. Whenever it does the ground and pound, it plays some little jingly bells, kind of with Shimby's reindeer hits, it jingles a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like as far as the price goes for it too, and I think that Goose and Stun are going to agree with me here. It feels so worth it for the changes of animations, audio things. The skin still plays smoothly. It looks super great. It's festive. It's creative. they've been robbing me at skin point, Magoose, with these skins. It's been real bad.
Yeah, I mean, Menace mentioned it earlier too when I was reading, and he said that he's never spent money on on skins that quick before, and yeah, I do. I am enjoying this winter map. I on my end, I haven't had any glitches or anything happen on the map. I don't know if you guys have experienced anything like that where you get stuck or something happens, but overall, for a map that was released that quick, I like it. It's fun.
My only complaint is I think you should be able to. I don't think it should exist in competitive. I think it should competitive should always be the same map, same colors and everything, because like you kind of lose Wraith in the snow a little bit. You can't see your chat as well because of the snowy background. Like it's cool, it's fun, it's festive, but I don't think it has a place in ranked gameplay. I think ranked, you should be bringing your absolute best, and that means keeping everything on an even keel and an even level.
I agree. That consistency really does matter.
And as far as rank goes, since we're talking about that, Bearded, I know mentioned earlier that they lowered the level for the minimum qualification to start playing ranked. I'm not a big fan of it. I was mentioning it to you guys earlier. I'd rather get rid of the owning 12 heroes to play ranked and just allowing players to play ranked with the rotating heroes that we have existing and raising the level to either level 10 or level 15 because of experience. I'm still getting a lot of situations where people are not able to lock in the hero that they want, so they're feeding on purpose in game, or they'll quit or something like that. So I still would prefer if they got rid of owning the heroes and just giving us a higher level before you can play ranked, whether it's level 10 or level 15, just to give them a little more practice, a little more
experience with the game.
Yeah.
Couple reps underneath the belt.
See, Clorox TV says the UI is invisible to me with this map. Being colorblind makes me never want to play this game, to be fair. I 100% get that. I think this should be a toggleable option. If they were able to do that, I have no idea what the technical specifications would be needed to do that, but it would be nice if you could just toggle the snow off instead of have it on. And then Mr. ALQ, got a question for you guys. Experience long waits to enter the game. We're touching on competitive now, so let's go ahead and get into that. I have found personally that trying to queue in the quick match earlier in the day, usually earlier in the day, it would take me like 30 seconds to get into a quick match. It's been taking me about 5, 6, 7 minutes to get into quick match, whereas competitive, I queue into competitive and it's almost instant. It's like 30 seconds to get in. So I think what's happening right now is, they're a very new company. They're just getting off the ground. This game's just getting off the ground. They have a pretty good sized player base, but what they're doing right now is they're splitting the player base. And not only that, they also recently introduced that you will not get queued into a 5-stack if you're solo, they did some things to make the solo queue experience a little better for people, so they're not having to face streamer 5-stacks so goddamn much. So that's also fucking with your queue times. So I don't know if it was that great of an idea to go with ranked so early, but that's kind of what everybody's been saying all along is when you do introduce a ranked game mode, you split the player base. But is it worth it? It might be worth it for them. We don't know yet.
I would say, without being asked, I would my like 2 cents on is it's like a dual-sided sword, right? A big part of the MOBA experience is it's innately a PvP game, right? And that kind of lends people to wanting to compete, to be the best, to be better, to ego check others, and kind of like climb up that ladder. And it's a big thing for me, and this is speaking personally, that I enjoy more than anything else in MOBAs. Like my name is Ego because I like to win, and I like playing with the intent to win. And like that kind of like knowledge, like I'm going to take this dub. And so when competitive was introduced for me, I was like ecstatic. I was huge. I was like, okay, this is like super cool. This is awesome. But I definitely do get what you're saying with it having had split the communities and queue times being a little bit longer than what it kind of feels like they should be. And I don't have a solution for it. I don't have like a remedy for it, or I don't also don't have an opinion really on if they should or shouldn't have. But I will say I'm hopeful that, like you said, it's a new studio, it's a new game, it's just getting off the ground. The numbers have been really solid for it that we've all seen and we've all agreed on. So I'm hoping it's one of those things that kind of just sorts itself out pretty soon, Goose. And like hopefully we're back to those like 30-second or like click queues where you just tap, I'm in a game pretty soon as the game is like growing, expanding, and they're showing it all the support.
And I wonder if having multiple servers in the in NA is also kind of splitting the community. Because again, I haven't had queues longer than 2 minutes max, but I'm NA West and I usually play around this time, which might be the peak. And like Mango said, he plays earlier and he gets into a game quick. I don't know if that's kind of splitting it. Because now we have two different servers. Not everybody's in one server and playing on the one. So
I think it's necessary though. That's definitely necessary for ping and everything.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
of course.
Oda says that he would suggest having the tutorial complete before you can play ranked. I 100% agree with that. You should definitely have to have completed all the tutorials before you can play ranked. Have I completed all the tutorials? Fuck no. But I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's running under towers and shit. And like,
even quick match. I agree with what Otto is saying. Before you can go into the game, if you're new, you do that tutorial before you can go into quick match. People press escape, and then they'll go into the game and be like, "What are these arrows for?" Those arrows take you to the lane you're supposed to be on. It was in the tutorial.
Or they don't buy items and
and it's funny, I only did the tutorial in the beginning was so I can get a skin because it was
nice.
Cold. So nice. I'm just gonna get into the tutorial while I'm waiting for some of my friends to finish their games.
Yeah. No, I will never do a tutorial. Like I was like offended. I loaded into the game. I'm like, do you not know who the fuck I am? You think I'm like, you don't think I know how to buy from the item shop? I was buying anti-heal when you were a baby. But no, I agree. I also think so. Like one way I think could be a problem fix for like getting people more experience and more roles and helping the ranked environment be a little bit more healthy would be, in my opinion, is having you not only have to have a certain like level or a certain amount of games played, but also a certain amount of games played in each position. I personally feel like the ranked environment would be so much better if there's like you have to play 5 games in every position. You have to know how to support. Like I'll take your mom 63. You have to know how to be in the solo lane. You have to know the basics of midding. Even if they're not your preferred lanes, I feel like having that game knowledge on how everything is played should be something every ranked player brings to that queue.
I 100% agree with that. I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people like the one trick, one hero in one lane, and they won't play anything else, and then they don't know how the other lanes work. And that often leads to a little bit of toxicity because they don't know what's going on. They don't know why the jungler hasn't been in their lane. They don't know why duo isn't doing this or that. And, you know, if you would play duo, you would know that, you know, your duo is trying to set up so they could take prime spirit right now with the jungler and like things like that. There's a lot of stuff that you need to know, and you would acquire that knowledge by at least playing those positions. It also helps you against those positions. You know, after you've played them, what the weaknesses are, you can you can compensate appropriately.
Got literally. You go,
Sorry
Stunt.
for cutting you off, brother. And also, since we're talking about the experience in the tutorial, right? I would like to see Overprime in the near future or in the future separate the AI from custom. Give it a separate like category where people can go into AI without having to make a custom match for them to go in and practice. Because I did watch your video, Mangoose, about how to get into an AI match. It's easier for us because we have experience in the genre. A new player is going to get in and be like, okay, I'm just playing PvP and that's it. If they separate that and give AI a separate like category where somebody can pick AI and just go in there and have fun would be great.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Like, kind of putting it in reverse a little bit, like with the point I made earlier. I literally today in a ranked game had a guy. He was like third or fourth on the team. And we're in the ranked lobby. And he's like, he gets jungle. I'm like, all right, we're going. And literally, I think it was third pick on the enemy team. Someone takes Countess. And the dude loses his fucking mind, man. Goose. He's like, can somebody switch with me? I don't know how to do it anymore. Countess is the only ones I've ever jungled with, and it's just one of those things where I'm like, I know from a business perspective, there's no great way to enforce having people's like player and character portfolio be diverse. You know, we can force them, we can wait for them to get more characters. We can wait for them to be a certain level. There's nothing that stops them from only playing one character though. And when you walk into ranked with that kind of mentality, it definitely can like make the environment, especially at lower ranks, not as fun. But you know, in my opinion, that's also kind of a part, and I'm the one bitching about it. But it's also kind of a part of the grind of like climbing up to those higher levels of it too.
Bearded brings up the problem with having everyone having to play a certain role in PTO just means that they will play as an ADC in that role and not play it correctly. Of course, you're going to have certain instances of people that don't take it seriously and don't play the role well. But I think it would be far more beneficial in the long run because there's going to be far more people. I mean, you always remember the assholes. You don't remember the games where somebody just did just fine. Somebody did just fine in their role. You know what I mean? And then the other thing too, as far as Overprime and ADCs in every lane go, I think everybody has learned by now that if you try and fucking rev mid against the Gideon, you're going to get your shit pushed in. If you try and fucking Murdoch against the Shinbi off lane, you're fucked. Like that, that shit does not work like it did in the final beta test. Like final beta test, yeah, ADCs could run rampant wherever they wanted to. The game in its current state, ADCs need to stay with their fucking support, or that, you know, sometimes they can off lane decently if they're good, but yeah, it don't work like it don't work like it did in the final beta test. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. With people like bouncing around and learning the game, kind of touching on your note real quick of you being like, you don't remember the games where people were just fine, and Bearded's comment about like you get people locking in ADC who don't know how to play the role and doesn't do it. It'll always have to be someone. No one ever plays something for the first time except for myself and does amazing at it.
Except for myself.
Except for me. But no, there's no one who ever like picks something up for the first time and kind of frags. And I feel for me that's also kind of a part of the PvP MOBA experience, is that there's going to be someone who's like, hey, I'm new to the game, or I'm new to this role, and they may get dog walked. Kallari might pull into the lane with a leash and take him around the map a couple times, and that's going to happen. But as long as that person's learning from it, you may not know that because, you know, maybe it was just a rough game for you. It's something that'll come with time, and that person could, like, you know, I must be good. Then I soloed with Doc and it was a cakewalk. I mean, it can still happen. That sometimes it's a skill diff, but you know, it has to happen to somebody for someone to be bearable to maybe good at some point. It's my take on it.
What do you guys think about dodging for ranked matches? Do you think the penalty should be a lot higher for those that actually dodge because they didn't get the role they want?
I think the penalties are pretty. I think the penalties are pretty good right now.
Same. Yeah. I think the penalties are pretty solid at times, and the way that they escalate, the more you do it, if you do it. I'm not gonna lie. There's been situations in ranked where I haven't dodged, but I have prayed that someone does. Where I'm like looking at my team and I'm like, we got a Murdoch, Wraith, Countess, a Shinbi, and a Faye. And then someone like dodges on the enemy team, and I'm like, well, let's try that again. But I'll like wait a couple seconds to let those people find a game and, you know, try something different. But go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish. I was saying.
But overall, I think the times are fine. What is it like? It's like 30 seconds, then 5 minutes, then 15 minutes, or something like that.
That's
I
another
think they're
interesting
okay.
thing when it comes to ranked matches that I appreciate a lot now is since we're not banning two players on each team, right? Two heroes. I'm not seeing like two ADCs being banned, and then your team picks the other three ADCs or whatever, leaving the enemy team without any ADCs. That completely stopped. I haven't been noticing any of that anymore, like we did in the final global test. There's many occasions in the global test where I went into ranked, they would ban Revenant and like Murdoch, and then their whole team would pick up Wraith, Twin Blast, and Sparrow, leaving no ADC for us to pick up.
Yeah.
I noticed that's not happening anymore now with just one ban. But Gadget is a guaranteed ban in almost all the games so far.
Let's talk beta for a little bit. Rampage is the one that gets banned out for me.
Rampage every day.
All day, every day, and we let him get through. In the last time I played competitive, and yeah, he just dove the dog shit out of our ADC all day long. Lived to tell the tale every time. And like I'm here on poor Decker, like I'm caging this motherfucker. I'm stunning him. I'm slowing him. I'm shielding Doc. I'm healing Doc. I'm doing everything I can. There ain't nothing you can do against big ass Snowboy. But you got Snow John.
Yeah, Stunt. I know you're a fan of like the animations and the visual optimization of the game. If you look closely, when Rampage is under your tower, he actually takes out 2 loaves of bread, puts the tower shot between them, and eats that shit because he doesn't fucking care.
Nom, 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 nom.
He's like, oh, yeah, I'm just still killing your carry, and then he leaves. He walks out, and there's nothing you can do about it. Rampage cannot be allowed into the game as he sits now. He's too tanky. The sustain scales way too well on him. It's just like a good TB or like a Rev late game can help shred, but dude, he's first man every time.
And it's because people don't build healing reduction. They build whatever the fuck they were building in quick match that got them like fucking 23 and 0 or some shit. It's not going to work when you're up against a decent Rampage that knows what he's doing. You have to have some healing reduction to stop him from fucking regenerating all of his health in his ultimate. Because otherwise, Rampage will sit back in the jungle and wait until his ultimate's off cooldown to engage. He's not going to engage without his ultimate. So
the 2 tank cutting items are rarely used, which is interesting to me. And Chimera has been growing on me too. I've been having fun playing Chimera jungle a lot.
Chimera
is another one.
Chimera's cool. I don't know. Like Chimera's good. It's like we're talking shop, we're talking metas, right? Okay, so we can establish. I think we unanimously can agree. Rampage is the best tank in the game. Like, and it's not close. The amount of damage he can eat, it's just absolutely insane. I actually had a disagreement earlier that I didn't say because I wanted to bring it up here in front of the people so that they can observe and see that I think that Gadget is still, despite how huge Gideon is, I think that Gadget is still actually the best mid laner in the game. Goose
think so?
And Stunt. Yeah, I play a fair amount of mid lane. I've kind of pivoted from jungle being my primary role more to mid lane because I seem to do really well there. And it's also a lot. Like they don't get blamed as much. Like if I'm fragging mid or I have like a mid game at mid lane, people are just like, oh, whatever. You have a slightly bad ratio in the jungle role. People are sending you friend requests on Steam so they can like send you presents as your dead dog to your house and shit. Like it's so intense. But no, like Gadget, I feel like her space control with her ult is still so good, and more than anything else is that she can't be CC'd out of it like a Gideon can. There's been a lot of instances where I've seen a Gid and we're in a team fight and I'm just looking for him to do it. The moment he's up, thunk, Gadget bubble, rock. And the amount, I also don't know what it is about Gadget's ult. People, like Gadget's ult does a lot of damage, but that thing comes down and it's like you turn on a light in a room full of roaches.
Hey, that's what I said. That's what I said in my hero review. Yeah. They fucking
shit.
scatter to the four winds.
I was about to say they would rather chew on carry autos, and then I just remembered your video.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's exactly
with me, Redford.
That's exactly what happens. Here's the thing with Gadget: the skill to benefit ratio is off. It doesn't take that much skill to do extremely well with Gadget. So when you have somebody that is skilled playing Gadget, it's a goddamn nightmare. Like Clorox TV said it in the chat, her Q is instant. It just pops on their head. It's difficult. It takes some sweat to get her to miss her Q in lane. You can do it. Takes a little bit of sweat.
Just believe hard enough, and maybe she'll miss.
But I think nerfing FaZe and buffing Gideon kind of brought in that balance. Whereas before Gadget would dominate no matter what, now you have that balance. Where and in my opinion, now that Gideon's buffed and FaZe was a little nerfed, now I think Belica is falling behind. I mean, I haven't had successful games with Belica. She wasn't my main, but I think now Belica's falling behind in the mid lane.
I haven't really messed with her a whole lot. I need to dick around with her to see how good she is.
Yeah.
I've been playing Belica. There's never been a more satisfying like ability in Paragon or any MOBA as Belica's ult to me. You got this fairy like calling on the forest. You got this big ass orange dude who's like, "I'll protect the weak." You got this space cowboy and whatever, and Belica's here with a gun, and that's it. She's like I cast bullet. That ult is so much fun to me. And they nerfed in the patch for the early access. They nerfed the range of her mana drain, and they nerfed its health. I think if you cast it and it does damage to the player, that the minions will turn and auto it once. And considering they reduce the range, reduce the health on it, and now it can lose a pivot to a minion auto, it feels kind of bad. Because when you're playing Belica mid, you're playing two games almost. You're playing the game of I'm trying to get your standard mid lane. I'm trying to hit my last hits. I'm trying to apply pressure, but you're also playing a careful game of I'm just going to mana drain you a little bit more and a little bit more. And now it's too easy to handle, in my opinion, to make her really good. But there always has to be a worst one, right? Not everyone's going to be A tier, and that's okay.
Yeah. And then there's going to be balance passes, and then all of a sudden Belica's going to be over the moon, the best, and then going to get balanced again. You said I cast bullet. Have you ever seen that 80s movie Wizards? Have you seen it?
I have seen Wizards. Yes.
The end of that movie, he casts bullet.
I cast bullet. There's no such thing as original comedy.
there's one spell Ma taught me that she didn't teach you. that movie is fucking nuts, dude. Anyway,
Bearded asking about an anti-heal item called. I don't know about anti-heals, but for tanks, I use the chainsaw and the.
But chainsaw doesn't apply blight though.
The teapot, the little
jewelry box.
Jewelry box. There you go. Those are the only.
Those are tank shredders, but they don't reduce healing. To beat Rampage, you need to reduce healing.
Yeah, and it's for carries. It's so this is actually something. This actually kind of thanks Bearded for the free segue. This leads into another thing I hope to implement to the game soon. Is those items being categorized underneath that ability to anti-heal? Because Bearded doesn't know the name of them, because unless you read the text underneath it, it in the stats doesn't say anything about it. It's a passive ability of the item. It's a dagger, and then there's a magical one that does basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know the art and you don't know, I'm playing Chimera, I'm playing against a Rampage, you don't know to go grab that item, you'll never know to find it, and that can make some heroes feel imbalanced.
Like Fault, it was called Blight, and predecessor it's called Taint. So if they if they had some sort of name for it, I think that would be a lot better, a lot easier to sort. It'd be nice if it was an option in the sorting as well for their item shop. How have the Have you guys been doing placement matches? I know you did all of yours, right, Ego? Have you done your placement matches, Stunt?
I've done half of the placement matches. It's not bad. I'm enjoying the placement matches, and I'm trying to figure out, like we were talking earlier, how the game is calculating, because, like I mentioned, on Facebook, everybody has their real names up, so I don't know what their in-game names are, but a lot of people were complaining that the placement matches and the matchmaking is bad. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to talk about. They're under the impression that because this person won his first 5 games and then ended up playing the last 5 against like these top tier players, right? That matchmaking is broken. And I was trying to explain that it's called a placement match for a reason. The first 5 games, if you're dominating, in my opinion, Overprime looks at it that you're in a high ranking player, so it matches you with top tier players. And if you lose to them, it looks at the average and says, "Hey, you're in between here," and places you in that category. And then in my games, the only thing I'm trying to focus on and trying to figure out is if all 3 of us are in a match, right? And let's say Mangoose hard carries both of us, and we don't have any kills, and Mangoose has like 20 or 30 kills. Does the game actually separate Mangoose from us and say, hey, look how good Mangoose is playing compared to Stunt and Eagle. Stunt and Eagle need to be a lower tier, and Mangoose belongs to a higher tier. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I was trying to explain on Facebook too. It sounds like a simple algorithm. It sounds like a simple way to do it. But as far as placement matches goes, that's what I'm trying to focus on and see how I can provide the community with answers to how they're being placed. Because in my opinion, if you put me with the grandmaster player or against one, I take that as a compliment. Then the game thinks I'm good enough to play against these guys.
Yeah, their placement matches, they're going to place you against varying skill levels throughout your placement matches. After that, it should be good matchmaking. But for your placement matches, you're not going to get the best match, but you're going to face some really, really good teams and some really, really bad teams. So just fucking expect that whenever you do your placement matches. If you go 10-0 in your placement matches, well then, welcome to Masters, buddy. You're going to do a great fucking job in this game.
Yeah. So as far as like whether or not the game has matchmaking stuff based off of in-game performance, I feel like that's a hard thing, right? Because like let's say we load into a game, right, and I'm the group's carry main, right, and Mangoose is my pocket decker. And the end of the game, he's like, it's a good support game. He's like 1, 3, and like 7, right? And the game's like, all right, he had an okay match, but I'm a carry main. I'm eating kills. I'm eating objectives. It's what I do. And does that mean like if this would be like the route they went to like try to do a fix to like evaluate skill levels, that stuff? Does that mean like, for example, like mid laners and carries are people who main those roles at least are just going to kind of more easily float to the top if that was a type of thing that would be implemented? My way of thinking about it.
I was thinking mostly as in the back engine, the way you do it is obviously win to lose the ratio from 10 games. That's your number one. And your KD, right? So like I said, if you're playing a Twin Blast and your support and everybody else is dominating the game and carrying you, the way I see it is, you won the game, right? You might win 10 games like that because you got lucky and you ended up being teammates with like high ranking players. But necessarily speaking, your skill level is not at masters just because you won 10 games. So all these other factors have to come into play to give you a fair ranking and to put you in the tier that you belong in, if that makes sense. So it's not just the win portion, it's the kill to death. And I think all of that does come into play. And I was trying to explain it, but since we don't have any explanation for how they're doing it on the back end, you can't really make people understand that's how it works. Because it's called a placement for a reason, like Mangu said. If it wasn't that, just put us all in bronze and have us level up like we do in most other games. Start off at 0 and just have us level up.
I get that. Yeah, I definitely get that. It's no, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, that's God. Oof, I didn't think we were gonna like be on ranked this long. Oh crap! Never mind. We can't leave yet because I have more thoughts and more opinions.
Well, I just wanted to say, talking about what you were talking about earlier, there has never been a team-based, hero-based multiplayer game, Overprime, what's the fucking Blizzard one? Overwatch. Goddamn, anything. There has never been one where supports didn't get shafted by the fucking by the MMR. There's never been one. Sports are just always going to get shafted. We understand. Us support mains, we understand this, and we persevere. We carry on.
Stronger man than I am. So something I actually did want to bring up this week. You know, we're a week and a half, 2 weeks into the game, loving it. Do you think, or when do you think? Because I feel like it's more of an inevitable thing because the item list feels a little bit not limited, but I feel like it could be more expanded. Do you guys think they're going to add more items in within the next, let's say, 3 months of the game?
I hope so.
Comes out and people learn things because the items
they have a very limited amount of items.
It is a very limited amount of items, and it like I'm looking for different builds on stuff. Like I've like talked to people. Look, like I know you're familiar, like we're familiar with Weekend. He like made a site for builds. I like looked at them, and literally all the major builds are the same. You change an item. It's like witch boots, spirit teardrops, something else. Level up an item, leave. And it's just the same core of like 5 items with a flex pick. So I was thinking if we got to add a couple items into the game, I'm putting you on the spot. I know. So I'm going to continue talking like I have a point for about 30 seconds to give you a moment to think. But if the game was in your hands and you could add in some more items, what items do you guys think would be not necessary, but good to kind of like spice up the meta of what we're seeing being played currently?
I mean,
reserve items.
I want to see some
carries deserves.
What?
I'm saying the carries deserve items, and so do active items for supports.
I just want to see something that affects the fucking terrain. Like Galaxy Greaves and Predecessor is a fucking crazy good item. That I would love to see something like that brought into Overprime. Something that creates terrain would be cool. Anything that affects the terrain and actually turns this into a third-person MOBA, takes advantage of that third dimension that they've been given. Would be very cool. As far as other items go, I don't know. They just need more. I think mages have it good, supports have it good, carries, jugglers, offlaners, pretty limited for their selection of items.
Yeah. Supports do have it good, but a lot of community members were complaining that supports don't have enough active items.
What?
Because of all the items are passive. Like they want more active items. That's the complaint I've heard. There's
all kinds of active items.
I mean,
you've got Glory of a Sign. You've got the Mitre of the High King. You've got
the
Chronomancer's Disc. You got the Link thing. You got all kinds. There's too many active items for supports, if you ask me.
And I guess they're not using it. Like you're a support main, so you've looked into it, but it was constantly. That's what I was being told. I'm like, what do you mean active? Like you want another like fish item? Turn somebody into a fish
yeah, you Poe. There's you another active item. There's a lot of active items.
So I think you were sick the week that me and Mangoose were talking about this with Lo, because I think Lo, what was it? Lo, you're in chat. They were talking about like playing phase support and feeling like the support items weren't good. And I think what me and Mangoose said, trying to get it exactly, was everyone else is playing the game with 4 abilities. We're playing the game with 8. We're walking in. We're like, I activate Mutant Poe. I then give him shield. Everyone get around me. Bandit watch. Now everyone's healed. Okay, this item's on cooldown. My ability's off on this. I feel like this support role has a ton of actives, and I actually would like to see a item in the game, not just for supports. Maybe just make like a utility thing, like it has some okay stats for health and mana, not much else. But something with the passive that actually helps reduce the cooldown on items, which encourages you to build those items and utilize them, and thus can give a higher skill cap to builds that include them, but like also a nice payoff to it. If I could pick an item to put in the game, it would be something with a decent stat line, but with a passive that through some type of game action, something you have to actively do, reduce the timer on your actives. Would be huge.
Fault, may it rest in peace. One of the support aspects, one of the white aspects, allowed cooldown reduction on active items, which I thought was pretty damn cool if you like to use those active items. I think now that Fault's gone, we're missing a lot of the stuff that Fault had.
Yeah, I'm not a support, so I haven't looked at that end.
Oops,
but I do agree with Bearded that we do need lifesteal items too.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people complain about that. I don't really play anything that uses lifesteal. Well, no, Shimby. I play Shimby. Again, you got plenty of lifesteal within the
mage
or Omnivamp within the mage category. You got Witch's Vial, you got Archon's Gospel, and I think there's another one too that I don't.
Or the Vamp Sword. Is it Vamp Sword or?
I think
Vamp Sword is the physical one.
Yeah, that's the physical one. Yeah.
It's like physical power gives you some cooldown, and also your abilities are AoEs, kind of like you do a little swipe and not like a half circle in front of you. It's pretty good. It's really good.
Oda says he wants to see the OPD militia card from version 42, trading mana for extra damage is nice. I think there's a lot of cool cards that were introduced in version 42. As much as I hated version 42, there were a lot of cool cards in there that I think would be nice to add into Overprime. I think that would be that could be a source of inspiration for them instead of just fucking copy pasting league shit into their game. Fucking look back at old Paragon and find some of those cards and bring them in.
But Mangoose League does this.
But League is so fucking good, and League is the top game and fucking.
When you used to download the Google Drive Paragon,
we're gonna get canceled.
Google Drive Overprime. They used to have the original Paragon items.
Yeah.
So why didn't they can just take the examples off of that too? They had it back in the day.
Spiritual Soul's talking about the quick play problem. Are you queuing solo or with people? Because they've taken actions to ensure that solo players don't have to queue into stacks. So that might be what's going on there for you. I don't know.
Yeah,
and I don't know if Spiritual Soul was here earlier when we were mentioning that since the ranking qualification has been lowered, the levels, it's split.
Yeah. I already discussed that with them.
I also think it has to. So I remember the specifications of this because I saw this and I was like, thank fucking God. I'm tired of kicking people in the teeth with me and my boys. But it's if you are a solo, it will not queue you into a game that has a 3 or a 5 stack. It will not. It will refuse. So basically, if you are going in solo, you are going to be either looking to play against two, like the worst you could play against is 2 stacks and another solo dude. The game will no longer queue you into a game for a match if there's a 3 or 5 stack on the other side. And that probably is a big factor in why, like, if you're solo queuing, it takes so long.
Well, obviously, it's not a 5 stack. You're not going to be the 6th person just waiting on the bench to get in, but 3, maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was a good move.
No, I mean for against.
Yeah, but even against, like, you should, as a solo player, should be able to get into a game that's who have a 3 stack or 2 stack. You know what I mean? I mean.
I think a 3 stack would have been fine. I think they kind of overcorrected, in my opinion. They went a little hard because it was an issue, right? In the closed test, I was running around with like me, my boy Onyx, and like Septic and a couple other dudes, and we were just like it was bad. Like we went on like a 17 game win streak, and these were like sub 15 like minute games at times. So I think it's necessary to a degree, but I also feel like solo players, I mean, if you're queuing solo, this is a team-based game that people can play with their friends. You kind of know what you're getting into. I think keeping people from playing against 4 and 5 stacks would be fine. I feel like 3 stacks, if they allowed that, could allow people to kind of reduce the time it takes to get you back into matches.
Yeah, especially if it's playing hell with the matchmaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a pretty strong player base, but I don't know if it's that strong.
Ooh, I checked it. I think like 4 days ago,
and
it was like
think MMRs are being calculated too quick play. Like
it's definitely being calculated now. Yeah.
So those times can be longer if they're categorizing it with like smaller MMR groups some of the players that are having issues, like who are really good players, are having issues 20-30 minute queues, could possibly be because of their MMR ranking.
That's fair. Easy fix. Stop winning as much.
Felipe, I'm sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. Red Zone would go crazy. Yep, they would. Shit. Okay, when do we want to get into the clips? Because I don't want to wait until the very end of the show to do those.
All right.
You guys want to get into those?
Yeah, so we can give people time to vote on it.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
Stunt. All right, so we're going to be showing you guys some clips. We put it out there. Had you guys send us some clips. We picked 5 of them. We're going to let you guys vote on which one you like best, and that will carry forward into a further competition. After we have 4 or 5 of them. So yeah, let me grab the link real quick so people will know where they can go to actually submit these clips.
We're looking to see your plays, guys. Bring your best.
So the way we're gonna do this, guys, is we'll take clips every week. The winner of this week's clip, when the community votes, will be put into a. We'll go against all the winners of the clips for the rest of the month. So at the end of the month, on the 30th, 31st, whatever it is, the last show we have for the end of the month, the clips that won every week are going to go against each other, and the final clip will get a Steam reward.
There you go.
We're going to get some of that money.
Between $50 to $100. So one of you guys is going to end up getting a lot more heroes than you thought.
All right, so we're going to play these clips, and then we're going to talk about each one. The name of the person for the clip will be in the top left corner, and then afterwards we'll talk about these clips, and then I mean, we could probably react to them as we're talking about them, but you let me know, Ego, when you're ready to do it up on Twitch, and I will do it up here on YouTube.
I got the hand on the button. Let's count down from 3.
3, 2,
Ooh.
1, go.
Oh God, I missed. I'm kidding.
All right, so this first one is from Jeezy. This is actually from the final beta test. Watch him he's searching forward with Murdoch. Not only does he stack the Prime, but the Prime death used to deal damage to heroes, wipes out 3 heroes. He gets a triple kill with a Prime steal.
That's sweet.
Absolutely amazing.
Sweet.
This was crazy. This was crazy when I saw this clip.
Jeezy, dude,
and the
insane.
best part is he just stands there and waits for the commentator to finish the.
All right, we got Guild 92. You see the enemy core is at 1%, but the enemy team was pushed up into their inhibitor. They're going to run the goalpost to goalpost here. They're running out of the Galari.
Inside now.
Is going absolutely bonkers. They're running through. This
Hurry.
had to have been a pretty close game.
Enough.
Jesus Christ, dude. Literally all 99 yards from
Into the light.
goalpost to goalpost here, man. This support play is really getting like land these items predictable, but also a big part of this is look at that going out lane. They're also setting it up for stunts for the Clark while providing the shield while sprinting to give them some type of CC back with their close range. It's insane. This support play, I'm sure as a support main in this group, you can definitely say that this is a really good play.
Absolutely love it. You see too many
Inside now.
that are so focused on trying to deal damage to the enemy team that they never shield their own team.
Death
What a
is
fucking
key.
mistake. What a waste of a hero when you're trying to deal damage with Muriel instead of shielding the hell out of her.
Hurry.
Come up with the now, it goes down. That force of 1%, it just takes 1 hit. It just takes 1 hit.
People are saying that the gameplay is just as loud as you in the chat.
Like that.
There we go. We got Dapper Dice on Severog. Severog beating him up as he does. You go watch this. He gets the knockback and the Twin Blast ultimate tracking through the air and takes him out.
Fun to watch.
Jesus, man, the play.
We got Kwong Sharker, Zamito and Kwong Sharking around in this Prime Pit. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of clips around the Prime Pit.
Oh man. crunch time like this is where big plays are made, man.
I love plays like this when the enemy team is too focused on Prime.
Holy crap, man.
Gets the prime steal. Oh, I wish I was better with Kwong, man. I wish I was better with Kwong.
I'm too intimidated to play them. I used to be a Kwong main, and then they changed them, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to relearn.
All right, now we got my boy Raven GG. He's using the Spirit's armor, which means that he doesn't have a basic attack penalty, and he is just running around sprinting hardcore
Jesus.
with Sparrow, just landing all of these basics, every single one of them, just back, and not getting slowed down one bit. Even the Xena ult on top of him almost takes him out. But nah, dog, he got this. He's got this.
What is his health at? Like,
I don't know what it got down to, but holy crap.
that was pretty damn low.
Holy crap, dude.
All right, and that was it.
Just a minute.
Let me change it back to the standard background over here. Actually, you know what? Let me leave them. Oh, no, I can't because it has a bunch of sound on it. My bad. I can't leave them playing. All right, so we're going to do the vote on my channel this week.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it.
we can do it.
All right, I'm going to set up a poll right now, and you guys vote on which one you enjoyed the most.
While you put up the post, Magus, I have a question here. Gadget or Shimby's new outfit?
Ooh, I don't know, man.
Don't do that to me. Don't make me choose. Although the answer is obviously gadgets. She's a hard-working mechanic. Very hard-working. That new gadget skin.
Shimby hits you with reindeer.
I mean, that's
All those standard reindeers.
That's neat. I mean, Gadget hits you with coconuts. That like Gadget skin, I don't know. Okay, if we're talking from like actually which is the better skin, for sure the shouldn't be one.
Okay.
If we talk about which is my type, definitely the Gadget one.
Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to help me out because I can't look at the document right now. What the second one was?
The second one was, I believe, Jill.
Gil 92.
Jill, Gil 92. Yeah.
I'm gonna call that one goalpost to goalpost.
Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Was the third or fourth one Kwong?
Third one was.
I don't know. Look at the sheet. Look at the sheet. Dapper
Okay,
Dice.
third one was Dapper Dice. Pop up into kill.
Rock.
And then we had Zamit, right?
Yeah, with the Kwong
Yes.
Prime Steel.
And then what was
That
the
last one.
Last
It's-
one was Raven with
Oh, shit.
the
Spirit armor.
it posted the poll before I meant for it to. God dang it. All right, you guys keep talking. No, actually keep helping me out here.
All right. Here to assist. Let's see. So, in order.
What? So, do you finish your placement, right, Ego?
I did. Yep, it took everything in my heart, body, mind, and soul. But yeah, no, I did finish my placement matches. Oh, and they were kind of tough. Man. The first 4 games I lost all consecutively. The first one was pretty close. The first one was pretty close. The first one was pretty close. The second one was kind of a blowout. The carry got super fed on the enemy team, and I think I was playing like Faye, and the Rev just walked over and shot me twice in the face, and that was it. There's nothing left.
Yeah, I think as of right now, I'm 3-2. I've only done half the matches. 3 wins, 2 losses.
Lo, I think we've already gotten through that. I appreciate you letting us know though.
Make go slower. The video audio.
Because there is no video audio anymore. I think she's a little behind in the.
Oh, nah.
If somebody wins and has an Epic downloaded Overprime with Epic, are we able to gift Epic like a gift card on Epic?
Oh, it only
Maybe, I
lets me.
think so.
The poll only lets me do 4.
Oh no.
All right, we need to make a decision right now between the 3 of us.
Guys, I feel like the answer's obvious.
Who's going to get cut?
Supports their whole life have had to sacrifice. And I'm sure Muriel, if
Why
she
are
was
we
here.
making the decision? We have enough people in the community that knows who gets cut.
I will cut that one simply because it was unnecessary. The core was at 1%. They just had to walk up to it and hit an auto attack at once.
Yeah. That was 100% a
Yep,
flex.
right. Raven Sparrow.
All right. It's up now.
Awesome.
There we go.
Oh my God, Lo, stop backseat streaming. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate the heads up, Lo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the vote is up. So let's move on to our next topic. What's our next topic going to be? Oh yeah, they changed the revisions to the privacy policy, which is very important to a lot of people.
Yep.
The verbiage for the privacy policy was standard for Japan, Korea. It was not standard for the rest of the fucking world. And it seemed very, very intrusive. So they removed a lot of the intrusive stuff. So what you're agreeing to, you're not agreeing to give them as much personal information as you thought. And again, I've been seeing this comment so many times on my YouTube videos right now, is that Overprime uses spyware. No. Okay, here's the thing.
Not at all.
Every anti-cheat, this is the problem right now. People will do enough research to find something they don't like, and then they stop. They're like, I found the thing that I can complain about. Now I'm going to stop researching. Any anti-cheat that any game has ever used will scan your hard drive. Every single one. They all do it. Also, every anti-cheat that has ever been used has had some sort of weird scandal controversy surrounding it. And it's the same way with Overprimes, with Zine code. The main thing you need to be aware of, make sure it's not still running in the background when you close the game. I haven't seen that happen. That was the thing with Black Desert Online. But a lot of people too were didn't want to play Overprime because of this privacy policy. And who the fuck actually reads the privacy policies? Again, I think the only reason anybody read this was so they can find something they didn't like and then roll with it. But this is something important and affects the community. And now that people did read it, then yeah, they needed to fix it, and they did fix it. So that's a good thing. Good things all around for them finally fixing their privacy policy. I think it's still the same for Japan and Korea, though.
I didn't even know they had one. When you mentioned it, I'm like, what privacy policy? What, they're gonna record my gameplay?
Stunt, you over here selling your soul and shit. He's like, I
said,
accept.
If you hack into my computer, all you're gonna get is Netflix password. If you have a show you want to watch, have at it, dude.
They stole my Disney Plus so they could watch She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, it was a concern amongst the community. I'm glad they fixed it. I'm glad they addressed it and they made an announcement about it. Overprime, well, Team Soul Eve just in general has always been extremely transparent, even more so than what I would expect from most studios, especially with them being published by Netmarble. I mean, indie studios, indie developers that I've tracked in the past for a variety of different games have always been extremely transparent, far more so than AAA titles. But Soul Eve, I mean, they had their public Trello that told us everything that was going on with the game, like to the minute detail for the longest time, and just everything that they do, it ends up in their announcements and they let us know. So that's just, it's nice to know this stuff. I'm just glad they fixed that privacy policy shit because that was a big smirch on their reputation.
For sure.
I know, like you said, Magus, a lot of people for some reason were having an issue, and the word about the anti-cheat spread so damn quick that I had to find out from Discord too when people told me they're like, and they were telling me, "Are you going to download the game?" I go, "Yeah." What's wrong? Well, the anti-cheat does this, and they're going to spy on you. I go, spy on what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna get out of it? I mean, all my flat Earth convention meetings and stuff like that are on my laptop. They're not even on my.
Then the other thing they posted was an appreciation video from Soleil, which was just kind of nice.
Very
And then,
wholesome, very sweet.
They do their own clip videos too, where they shout out the content creators, which is really cool.
The breathtaking
Moments is what they're calling it. Yeah,
it's awesome. It really is.
That kind of like rounds back around to like me being a big fan of a bunch of things they're doing. But as far as the like cheat thing goes, it definitely felt like one of those things where like you go into a Starbucks, although you know you only like Caribou coffee. It's like you are looking for something to kind of suspect. And speaking once again to the reaction speed of this team and the baby that is this project for them, it became a problem. They fixed it, like they've handled a lot of other things in the game. And I didn't know it was a thing until approximately like a day or two ago, where I was on like Facebook because I'm a fossil, and just yeah, and I just saw like some dude was on my time and like, Overprime is going to steal your information and send it to the Korean government so they can abduct you when you fly overseas, and I'm like, that feels like a lot, dude. I doubt it. And then here we are, and they fixed it. Caribou coffee is really good. Oh no, that's pretty solid. But yeah, that's my piece on that.
And I'm really happy. I'm really impressed with the companies and their and the way that they're paying attention to their community. A simple thank you video, like if they didn't even thank us, it wasn't gonna change anything. We're all enjoying the game, right? But to come out and give us a 30-second video, a minute video, of sincerely being happy to have us as players is a huge thing.
Bearded, if you enjoy coffee, I would suggest Tainted Grounds. That's a good coffee brand.
It's real earthy. Someone say
community I have.
He goes bougie
it's
for knowing about
this
Caribou.
community around, man.
Bearded. So I don't actually drink coffee, but I'm dating a college student. My girlfriend of a couple years now, and she also doesn't drink coffee. She puts it directly into her veins.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the best
For
way to do it.
$9 for a cup this big.
I know, Lo. Thank you for trying to help. That pretty much sums it up. But how's you guys' games been going? What do you think the meta is right now, currently as of this week? I've mentioned it a little bit. I don't think that ADC every single lane is working out the way it was in final beta test. That people are learning that slowly but surely. But I also don't think that just straight up tanks, other than Rampage, it is working all that great either. I think a pleasant mix of everybody. You actually need to have, if you are against another team that's as competitive as your team, then you need a reasonable mix of different types of damages and different types of heroes to succeed. And I think that's the ultimate goal of Overprime. So like Green's coffee is the best.
Oh no, I totally agree, man. Totally agree. We touched on it just a little bit in this episode, but if I had to pick my top 3 heroes in the game currently, Stunt, it'd be Rampage, Gadget over Gideon because I haven't been persuaded by the Gid yet. He's up there. He's up there. Definitely, I would say he's the second best mid lane in my opinion, but definitely Rampage, Gideon, and then hot pick, probably Sparrow. That speed steroid feels so good. The chase down potential on it. The attack speed feels a little bit more viable now, and she just feels overall like a way, way better hunter than what she used to be.
Yeah, I mean, but these nerfs and buffs before early access was definitely a help. I can tell that the snowballing effect changed a little bit. I don't know if it's happened. It's just happened to be with us where we were really behind and we caught up and won, or because of the balances that the snowball effect is changing. Like I was falling behind against a Wraith with Howie in mid lane because he kept poking me with the snipe. and I just patiently waited after I got a certain the cards that I needed or the items I needed. By the end of the game, I was dominating. So it wasn't the snowball effect that we used to get during the global test. I think is slowly going away. It's giving opportunities for teams that are falling behind to catch up, and teams that are ahead. If you make a small mistake, you can easily fall behind. I mean, do you feel the same way, or it's still different for you guys?
I mean, that kind of touches on something I wanted to address as well. Is whenever you're banning, you have to identify the difference between a good hero and an annoying hero. 'Cause I had the same thing. My second ranked match, I think, I was against the Wraith mid lane, and he bullied me all during the laning phase. He bullied me for a solid 10 minutes, but once we started team fighting, big badass black hole trumped Wraith's fucking surprise every goddamn time, and we were winning the team fights because I had the black hole in my pocket, and their mid laner, he didn't have a gadget with her Tesla dome. He didn't have anything that was he was just eliminating people like Bellica would be with a neural disruptor. I see a lot of people wanting to ban Wraith. I think Wraith is very annoying to play against, and it could be very good. I don't think he's bannable. I don't think Wraith by himself is going to win you a game. Rampage by himself, on the other hand, is both annoying and good. I think Gadget too, in the right hands, both annoying and good.
I've noticed that Wraith does hit a certain ceiling at a point in the game, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't get that. Like Otto said, I am extremely happy that Sparrow got a buff. Sparrow feels great. Sparrow to me does not feel like a support anymore. But Wraith, for some reason, being the annoying hero he is, there's a part of the game where he hits a ceiling, and he can't pass that ceiling unless he gets fed. So again, I do agree with you, Mangoose, that banning Wraith is not the best option. Like I said, the heroes that have been banned in my game mostly, or number one has been Gadget. Number two, they'll jump between ADC and Rampage. But Gadget is definitely getting banned. You don't see a Gadget ranked player that much.
So to stick with the theme of stories in the mid lane, so I was in a mid lane and I was the Wraith, and I definitely agree with you when I say he feels like he hits a ceiling. If your team has good communication and you have the blind faith that the randoms in your queue can finish off kills, he can be really good with that rewind, repositioning, people helping people get out of fights, helping initiate them. The damage, Spirit Teardrop, that continuous tick of damage after an auto can be what allows you to kind of chase someone down, but he is very much so. He is not a hard damage carry type character near the end of the game, in my opinion. So I definitely do agree there's a definitive ceiling there, and because of that, I don't think he should ever really be banned. You should be banning characters who, when you are in the queue of this game, which has a capacity of 2 people in it, for teams at least, you should be banning people who can win on their own. And like Mangu said, Rampage by himself can take a game. He can rip a game off of you if the comp is built properly and that Rampage is executed well. Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, I think Wraith in Overprime is a better ADC than a mid lane.
Yep.
I think back in Paragon days, I thought he was a better mid laner than an ADC, but that is swapped up for Overprime. He does make a pretty damn good ADC.
Mm-hmm. This one time in mid lane.
What time in mid lane?
There's this time I was in mid lane and Gadget came down.
in mid lane.
She bombed the shit out of me.
Well, I think we've hit all the topics. Are you guys ready to about wrap it up?
I am if you guys are.
The results to the poll. See who's advancing to the final week.
Okay, let's go ahead and end the poll. Looks like Jeezy won with the Murdoch snipe into the Prime Steel. And remember, guys,
Good for you, Jeezy.
you guys want, and he will be moving on to the next round. If you guys want to submit clips, god damn it, why does it keep? Let me grab this link again real quick. You guys want to submit clips, and I'll put this in the if you're watching the video, I'll have it linked down in the description below. There you go. Fill out that form, send us your clip, and we'll highlight it in the next episode of the Paragon Overprime Partners.
Try to
Pop
do it by
off.
Wednesday or Thursday, guys. So we can
Please.
finish up the video and then put you guys on the competition poll.
And I think we're going to be holding the competition on Twitch next time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Who's streaming next time? Twitch.
NureOnna.
All right.
If-
Let's hope her internet is fixed by then.
Right?
Her neighbors allow her to use the internet.
All right.
Everybody.
Well, let's go to about wrap it up. Ego, final thoughts and plugs?
Oh man, final thoughts and plugs. So because of the imminent peer pressure now for a month now, coming out of low, I'm actually going to be returning to streaming and stuff on Twitch. I thought I had made the decision to just hardcore be like, I'm just going to make constructed content for YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. But I'm going to be returning to Twitch, and actually kind of maybe 10-15 minutes after we're finished here, I will be streaming Paragon on Twitch. So if any of you guys want to group up, play, hang out, talk minutes, talk strats, maybe come hang out.
Noise.
Blood, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Much appreciated. Stunt, anything, any final words, any plugs?
Yeah, I want to thank the community for sticking around, watching the show. We love you guys. We love your inputs. We do pass it down to the devs, and I'm sure they listen to us. I hope they listen to us. Other than that, like Ego said, we'll always be in our Discords if you guys want to run games. We're here for you guys, and can't wait to see you guys on the battlefield.
On the battlefield.
On the planet Prime.
That's how I'm going to, that's going to end pop every time now. Yeah, thanks.
On the battlefield.
Thanks everybody for showing up for the stream, and thank you if you're watching this as a video stream. Let's get some Maggies in the chat if you got them. But that is going to wrap it up for the Paragon, the Overprime partner for this week. We will see you all on the battlefield.
On the battlefield.
Planet